Space Dandy. He's a dandy guy in space. There is just something about an anime that has a dude, a cat, and a robot alien hunting together for money, where it can have them in one episode participating in a giant space race, to turning into zombies and following the day-to-day life of the said undead. The anime made by Studio Bones follows Space Dandy, an alien hunter who every episode wants to capture aliens to get their reward money. The more rare the creature, the more the bounty. He is followed by QT, a robot, and Meow, a cat thing. And the anime at the start shows off this initial premise before going into the episodic format, where each episode they try to find one alien they want to catch, and that episode then ending in a mostly self-contained story. It's a lot like PSG in that regard, where things can happen to characters, but it won't matter what happens in the next episode. And yes, in typical anime fashion, they do explain why this is the case in the end. Now, there actually are many notable things about this anime that sets itself apart from the others. For one, it was one of the first anime to have a dub release before the Japanese one. And yes, the dub is actually amazing. Ian Sinclair does an amazing job as Dandy, and well, really loves doing it. All the other characters are amazingly voiced, except, well, QT. The voice is fine, but I don't know why they decided to add an auto-tune to it, so when they scream, it just kinda sounds like weird singing. The next thing about the anime is the animation. In a similar manner to how One Punch Man Season 1 was able to get all the best animators in the industry, this was the same here. But each animator was able to work on a full episode and go nuts in their style, and I just love it. Of course, there are plenty of episodes where the characters don't look like their usual selves, but it allows for the animators to tell their story in their own style. Now, one thing about Space Dandy is how absolutely hilarious it is. For a show with a premise like this, it makes full use of the funny setups, with a narrator and plenty of fourth wall jokes, and references. Oh my, so many references. From Evangelion to Dragon Ball Z to even Mickey Mouse, they cover a lot of stuff. But the great thing about Dandy is that throughout all this, many episodes still have heartfelt stories. Throughout the whole show, it balances the comedy with serious stories very well. Now, the funny thing for me is that since watching it, this was my third favorite anime of all time. Sci-fi is one of my favorite genres, and I loved how every episode they had some sci-fi premise they made, and did seem plausible in their world. Even stuff they made up for the show gets called back in future episodes, like the transporters that take 30 minutes to transport things. But on the third rewatch I did for this video, I kinda felt it lost a little bit of steam, especially with the second season. With it, they were a lot more experimental in the episodes, and I just felt the comedic moments weren't as comedic as before. I mean, sure, a full episode parodying High School Musical / Glee was fun back in the day, but now it's kinda It's like the episodes I knew I didn't enjoy, well, I didn't enjoy on the rewatch, but the ones I knew I liked, I still loved watching them again. Seriously, the joke at the end of this time loop episode was so perfect on its delivery, but it's just a minor thing as the show is still episodic. I still really love Space Dandy. It's such an amazing one-off kind of anime because, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get more of it. With them saying how they would have to win the lottery to make more of this original story. These kinds of anime are expensive to make. And I think if they wanted more seasons, they want it to be in the same style with all these animators and really high budget. But judging from how little merch there is of it, I kinda think it didn't do that well in Japan. However, if you like shows that are a bit more American in style, with very Japanese-like animation, with sci-fi ideas that are actually hilarious and amazing, then definitely give this anime a watch.
Behold, the remains of Planet Eden. It was a real garden spot 10,000 years ago. Garden spot? Really? Anyway, it got blown all to hell and only its moon remains.